Conversation ended hours ago, but your brain has apparently scheduled a private rerun. You are on the train home, staring at your reflection in the dark window. The passing city barely reaches you because you are still hearing the sentence you said at lunch. Maybe it sounded strange. Maybe your face changed when they paused. Maybe that tiny okay meant something else. You replay their tone, then your tone, then the half second before you answered. You adjust the scene in your head and try a better reply. Then another. You promise yourself to stop, look up, and realize you missed your station. The conversation is already over. Your body has left the room. Your attention has not. Some part of your mind still believes one more replay could finally make the moment clear. Yet each pass gives you another detail to question. So why does a process meant to protect you leave you more uncertain every time? Welcome back. Let's get started. There is a name for this kind of mental replay: rumination. It is repeated thinking that feels productive because it keeps moving, even while circling the same few details. You remember the words? Then you inspect the delivery. Then you imagine what the other person might have thought. Each pass creates another question, and your brain treats that question as a reason to run the scene again. That is how the loop follows you anywhere. You stand in a supermarket, holding the same box for 30 seconds, because your mind is back in the office kitchen. You sit in a cafe, but part of you is checking whether yesterday's joke sounded annoying. At the gym, the music is loud. Your hands tighten around the bar, and your brain quietly rewrites a message that has already been sent. The replay feels like memory. In practice, it behaves more like an investigation, and an investigation needs something unresolved. Your brain dislikes uncertainty, especially when another person is involved. A clear rejection hurts, but at least it gives you an answer. A vague look, a delayed reply, or a change in someone's voice leaves empty space. Your mind starts filling that space with guesses. It searches for the exact moment things shifted. Was it the joke? The interruption? The way you looked away? Reviewing a conversation can teach you something. Rumination keeps checking after the useful information has run out. The activity still feels intelligent because you are noticing details, even as those details make the picture less clear. Imagine a security camera pointed at one doorway. The loop keeps rewinding the same 10 seconds because it assumes the important clue must still be hidden there. But the discomfort may remain even when there is no clue left to find. The open question itself can be enough, and open questions can feel personal. If you grew up around unpredictable moods, criticism, or people whose tone changed before their behavior did, close reading may once have helped. You learned to notice small shifts early: a shorter answer, a tighter jaw, a door closing harder than usual. At some point, noticing became preparation. Now the same habit can activate during ordinary conversations with people who pose no threat. Someone goes quiet because they are tired, and your brain starts reviewing your performance. A friend takes longer to reply because they are working, and you reread your last message until normal words begin to look suspicious. You open the chat for reassurance. You leave with 3 new details to inspect. That small failure reveals what the loop is really chasing. Accurate memory is only part of it. Your brain wants the feeling of certainty before it allows you to relax. That feeling rarely arrives. Instead, every replay reshapes the memory slightly. Your attention moves closer to the awkward part. Your own voice sounds more obvious. Their reaction becomes easier to imagine and harder to verify. The scene grows cleaner, harsher, and less reliable. Meanwhile, your body responds as though the social risk is happening again. Your mouth goes dry, your shoulders lift, your stomach tightens while you brush your teeth or wait at a traffic light. The outside world has stayed the same. Inside, the conversation has started again. This is why just stop thinking about it usually lands nowhere. The loop believes it has a responsibility. Telling it to stop is like asking a smoke alarm to stay quiet before it has decided whether the smell matters. A better move is to give it a smaller job. Instead of asking, "What did they really mean?" ask, "What do I actually know?" Write down the observable facts in plain language. They paused. They said they were tired. They have not replied for 2 hours. Then compare those facts with the story. They are upset, I ruined it, and now they see me differently. Facts are usually short. The story keeps expanding. Once you can see the difference, decide whether the situation needs action or tolerance. If you genuinely said something hurtful, send a clear apology. If clarification makes sense, ask once. When no useful action remains, Your task becomes allowing uncertainty to exist without opening the file again. You can also give the replay a boundary. Tell yourself, I will think about this for 10 minutes at 7. When it returns on the bus, in the shower, or while you are trying to sleep, you are postponing it rather than wrestling with it. That teaches your brain something important. Urgency can exist without an emergency. Grounding helps for the same reason. The loop pulls you into a room that no longer exists. Notice the cold rail under your hand, the sound of dishes in the cafe, the pressure of your shoes against the pavement. Name what is happening around you now, instead of trying to solve what may have happened in someone else's mind yesterday. The old conversation remains in the past. Your attention returns to where your body already is, and sometimes the honest answer is that you were awkward. You spoke too quickly. You made a joke that did not land. That can sting, and it is still survivable. One imperfect interaction does not have to become evidence about your entire personality. Most people are busy reviewing their own moments rather than preserving yours in high definition. The goal is reflection with an ending. Ask whether the replay is still producing information. Once it begins producing only punishment, the useful part of the review is already over. Your mind replays conversations because it is trying to prevent social pain. It studies the past, searching for the detail that will make the moment feel controllable. Sometimes there is a lesson, sometimes there is an action to take, and sometimes there is only uncertainty. Back on the train, the city is still moving outside the window. The sentence from lunch may remain imperfect. The other person's exact thoughts may stay unknown. Perfect clarity may never arrive. The conversation can still be allowed to end. Think of the conversation your mind keeps reopening. Which parts are observable facts, and which parts were added by the story? You do not have to share the details. Just notice where one ends and the other begins. And if you want more clear explanations of the mental loops that quietly take over ordinary days, subscribe.